There are also hidden costs when it comes to European residency. Everyone talks about the program fee, but in reality, there are many extra expenses that people don't think about. At first, these programs look like a golden ticket. You pay once and you believe you can start your new life in Europe. But the truth is, it's not that simple. European residency by investment programs are often promoted as a golden ticket to life in the EU. Agencies and glossy brochures usually highlight simple numbers: €250,000 for real estate in Greece, €500,000 for Portugal, or even €700,000 for Malta. At first, it looks very direct. Make the payment, receive the residence permit, and start a new chapter in Europe. But the reality is different. Many people believe the investment amount is the only cost. In practice, there are many extra payments that quickly add up. For example, in Portugal's program, applicants often discover that legal representation is mandatory and can cost between €5,000 and €10,000. In Greece, property buyers face additional taxes of around 24% on top of the advertised investment. Even in smaller programs, like Latvia or Hungary, translation and notarization of documents can cost thousands of euros. Health insurance is another common surprise. Almost every country requires proof of full health coverage before granting residency. This can cost a family of four more than €3,000 per year, depending on age and coverage. Add to this yearly renewal fees, administrative charges, and sometimes even local contributions to community projects, and the real price is much higher than the one in the marketing flyer. That is why it is important to see the full picture before making a decision. The official investment may look clear, but the hidden financial duties are often not explained until the applicant is already deep in the process. What appears to be a simple deal can easily become a long-term financial strain for anyone who is not prepared. When people think about residency by investment, they usually focus only on the big number. But the truth is, there are many extra fees along the way that most people never see coming. When people look at European residency by investment programs, they often focus only on the big number, the real estate or bond investment. But countries also charge extra government fees that are not included in the main price. These can be application fees, processing charges, or what is called due diligence fees. For example, Malta requires a background check for every applicant, and this alone can cost several thousand euros per person. In Cyprus, before the program was stopped, families were surprised by high application and registration fees that added tens of thousands of euros to their budget. Another hidden cost is legal and consultancy fees. In many programs, hiring a local lawyer is not optional. It is required. Agencies often don't include these costs in their advertising. A legal package in Portugal or Spain can easily add 5,000 to 15,000 euros to the process. Consultancy services, even when not legally required, are strongly recommended, and they often come with their own expensive price tags. Exchange rates and banking transfers also make a difference. If you are paying in euros but your money is in dollars, pounds, or another currency, small fluctuations can cost you thousands. International bank transfers may include high service fees, especially when large amounts are moved at once. These financial extras are often forgotten when people first calculate their budgets. This is why the real cost of an investor visa is never just the advertised investment. The government, the lawyers, and even the banks will all take their share. Anyone thinking about such a program must prepare for these additional expenses before starting the journey. Getting the permit is only the first step. What many people don't realize is that every year brings new costs like renewals, insurance, and even possible taxes that you have to keep paying to maintain your residency. Getting your residence permit is only the first step. Many people do not realize that holding residency in Europe also means dealing with annual or ongoing expenses. Almost every country charges a renewal fee for residence cards. These can range from a few hundred to over €1,000 each year, depending on the program. There may also be extra administrative charges for updating information or renewing biometric cards for every family member. Taxes are another area that is often overlooked. Becoming a resident can sometimes mean you are considered a tax resident, even if you do not live in the country full-time. This can create unexpected obligations, such as reporting worldwide income or paying local property taxes. For example, some investors in Spain and Portugal discovered that they had to declare foreign earnings after becoming residents, even though they only spent a few months each year in the country. Health insurance is also a recurring cost. Almost all European residency programs require proof of full health coverage, not only at the beginning, but throughout the entire residency period. For a family of 4, this can easily cost several thousand euros per year, especially if private insurance is required. Each renewal usually demands updated proof of coverage, which means this is a permanent expense as long as you hold the residency. These ongoing obligations show that the true cost of residency does not stop after the initial investment. To maintain your European dream, you must plan for yearly fees, possible tax duties, and continuous insurance payments. Without this preparation, the financial weight of residency can become heavier each year. It's not just about the investment. Once you live there, you'll face everyday costs like rent, school for your kids, and even language lessons that can make the whole journey much more expensive than expected. When people think about residency by investment, they usually focus on the money required for the visa. But having a legal status in Europe often means you also need to create a real presence there, even part-time. For some, this means renting an apartment or maintaining a property they purchased. Utility bills, local service charges, and basic upkeep can easily add thousands of euros each year, especially in popular cities. Families face another big expense: education for children. While public schools may be available, many international families prefer private or international schools so their children can continue learning in English. These schools are often very expensive, with annual tuition that can reach 10,000 to 20,000 euros per child in countries like Spain, Portugal, or Austria. There are also indirect costs that many applicants do not expect. Living in a new country often requires language lessons, which can be an ongoing cost for both adults and children. Cultural activities, local memberships, and even adapting to different food prices can add to the financial pressure. Over time, these smaller costs can make a big difference in the overall budget for relocation. This shows that residency is not only about the official investment. The real challenge is covering the daily costs of living, education, and integration into society. For many families, these expenses become a bigger part of the budget than the visa itself. Rules and fees can change at any time, and if your goal is citizenship, there will be even more costs down the road. That's why you need a financial buffer to stay secure for the long run. Getting residency is not the end of the story. Rules can and do change, sometimes with little warning. Many countries have increased their residency by investment fees in recent years. For example, Portugal raised minimum investment thresholds, and Greece doubled its property investment requirement in some regions. These changes mean that what seems affordable today might become much more expensive tomorrow. If your long-term goal is citizenship, there are also extra costs to consider. Citizenship applications usually require new sets of documents, language tests, integration exams, and additional government fees. These steps can add thousands of euros on top of what you already paid for residency. In some countries, you may also need to prove continued financial stability, which can mean keeping significant funds available even years later. That is why it is important to prepare a financial buffer, not just for the first application, but for the entire journey. Unexpected expenses, new legal requirements, higher renewal fees, or even global events that change exchange rates can quickly affect your budget. Having a long-term financial plan is the only way to protect both your residency and your path to citizenship. If you ever decide to sell the property you bought for residency, you may face strict rules, extra taxes, or even risk losing your permit if you sell too soon. Agencies often promise a fast and simple process, but in reality, hidden steps and extra fees usually appear once you start. Not every country offers the same value. Portugal, Greece, Slovakia, they all look attractive, but the costs, rules, and long-term benefits are very different. Getting the permit is only paperwork. Real life begins after that, with the challenge of adapting to daily expenses, culture, and building a new home. Many residency by investment programs require you to keep your property for a minimum period, often 5 years or more. If you sell earlier, you may lose your residency status or face heavy penalties. In countries like Greece and Spain, property taxes on the sale can also reduce your profit. Some investors discover that maintenance costs and local taxes make it hard to keep the property, but selling too soon cancels their permit. Planning an exit strategy is just as important as the first investment decision. Agencies often advertise a smooth and simple process, but reality can be different. Promises such as residency in 3 months or all-inclusive packages usually hide important details. Extra fees for translation, legal steps, and insurance are often not mentioned at the start. Some agencies also suggest that citizenship is guaranteed after a few years, which is not true. Overpromising leads applicants to spend more than planned and face disappointment when results do not match expectations. Not all residency programs are equal. Portugal became famous for its golden visa, but costs are high and rules keep changing. Greece offers a lower entry point, but property taxes and maintenance fees are significant. Slovakia, on the other hand, allows self-employed residency with much smaller investments, but requires active business activity. Each country has advantages and hidden challenges. The real value depends on your goals, lifestyle, family relocation, or long-term citizenship. A careful comparison can save both money and time. Getting a residence card is only the beginning. Living in a new country comes with daily costs and challenges. Rent, utilities, and groceries may be higher than expected. Families must think about education. Public schools may be free, but many choose private or international schools, which are expensive. Adapting also means paying for language lessons, cultural activities, and sometimes facing higher health insurance premiums. Success in residency is not only about legal documents, but also about how well you can build a stable and comfortable life. Residency by investment can open real opportunities, but the advertised price is only the beginning. To succeed, you need to see the full picture: hidden fees, yearly costs, and daily life, so you can plan wisely and protect your future. Residency by investment can give you a path into Europe, but the official price is only the beginning. Hidden fees, yearly costs, agency promises, and lifestyle expenses all add up. Some countries offer real value, while others create more financial pressure than you might expect. The key is preparation. Before making any decision, calculate every step, compare countries carefully, and plan for the future beyond just the paperwork. Having a clear view of the real costs will protect both your finances and your long-term goals. If you found this helpful, make sure to subscribe and follow us for more. We wish you courage and success in your own journey, and don't forget to stay with us for the next steps.